Yo, what up, what up? Welcome back. I'm your host, B. Ryder. It's my co-host,
J. Bell.
and this is
Final Thoughts.
Today's topic, Brett Favre steals from the poor. Let's check it out.
Packers legend, Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Farve is part of some very disturbing allegations involving potential welfare fraud. Now, this story has been actually in the public domain for at least a couple of years, but it's now taking on a life of its own. And for more on that, we are joined by the Mississippi Today investigative reporter who broke this story.
It's true that 6 people were arrested in 2020 by the state auditor's office for stealing over $4 million from this program. And we tied Brett Favre pretty quickly to this scheme because he was involved with a pharmaceutical startup company that received $2 million in stolen welfare funds. And then quickly after that, we reported that $5 million in welfare funds had gone to the University of Southern Mississippi, his alma mater, to build a volleyball stadium. His daughter also played volleyball at the university. He was communicating with these officials in a way that really sort of illustrated how they were operating in secrecy. So at one point, when he was attempting to get a nonprofit to pay him $1 million in welfare funds in order to do a promotional gig, in order to promote the welfare program, he even asked her if the media could find out how much money he got and where it came from if they were to pay him. The grant that they wrote in order to get the funding for the volleyball stadium, it sort of shows in there that they knew that that this money was supposed to be used to help people. So they didn't just embezzle the money from the welfare program and put it in the volleyball stadium. They actually wrote a grant that said that the volleyball stadium was going to be serving people in poverty, that programs for people in poverty were going to be conducted there. And that's why it was a good project to use welfare money for.
What's the size of the fraud that's in question here?
The total amount that the auditors have questioned here is $94 million.
$94 million.
That nigga ain't shit.
That's how we started off. We just gonna go dive in, all right, on the deep end.
I didn't even believe it when I first heard it. I'm just like, but why would he? That doesn't make sense.
Isn't he already a millionaire?
Yes,
He played for like football for like 20 years.
Yes.
Like, dude.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't understand.
Why?
Why would a millionaire steal money from anybody, much less people that don't have it?
But I guess that's how it go. I'm like, wouldn't you benefit more stealing from rich? Like getting your little, Peter Piper pick up pan.
Say Peter Piper picked up pan. Dan is the man with the.
Man, it's the man.
That's the one.
You would think, but you know what?
Peter Pan.
It's easier to steal from the poor.
And why is that?
It's always been easier. Because nobody freaking cares about the poor. The poor aren't supposed to have money anyway, right?
They're poor.
Yeah. So, there you go. I don't think that, well, I was,
Screw it up, bro.
you know what? Brett Favre is just a bad person.
Thank you.
How about
He's a
that?
bad person.
How about that?
I
I was trying to be a little bit more, gracious about it, but no, I think he's a bad person.
Yeah, you're a dick at this point. You're like,
Yeah, you're just
some of his stands are looking at this like surprised Pikachu face.
Yeah. Yeah, come on, bro. No.
Nah, bro.
This kind of makes sense. This is the kind of person he is.
What what benefit did you get out of it? What he was supposed to build? What he was supposed to build?
It was a volleyball stadium. Is what he was. What he used to build the money he used to build was a volleyball stadium for his daughter, because his daughter plays volleyball for the school. So let's give them a multi-million-dollar volleyball stadium. Who watches volleyball like that?
But why does it take millions
For
a volleyball stadium?
It truly does not. Truly doesn't.
Also, what's his net worth? Like,
he's got to be worth tens of millions of dollars.
Come on, man. Like,
by now, yeah, he's like just shot in the dark. He's got to be worth at least like $60 million or $80 million. He could just take the little $5 million and pay for a stadium. He could do that. Or he could have gone on TV or made a promotional ad and said, hey, Mississippians, I want to build a stadium. Can y'all give me some money?
Nigga, no.
And I'm sure there are people who would have given him money to do that.
which is crazy because it's a millionaire asking for
money,
money,
but people would have given it to him.
Of
and
course.
if they did, I wouldn't have had nothing to say to it. I would think that it's stupid, but I would have just been like, well, people that's their money. They can do what they want with it, and if they're willing to give it to a millionaire, Lord bless him.
Bless his heart.
Somebody bless Buddha bless him.
Because I just don't get the motivation behind it, right? Like, you are stealing money from one of the poorest states in America, like
Consistently.
It's Mississippi, bro.
Consistently.
It's Mississippi, bro.
Mississippi is either one or two of the poorest states in the country. Every year is one or two. We have, and I lived in Mississippi.
That's why you live here now,
is
in New Orleans. That's why you live in New Orleans, because what the hell?
Like, the nice parts of Mississippi are nice, right? But the poor parts of Mississippi are like, damn. Like, you wouldn't believe how people are living, you know? And the crazy thing about it is that I think some people did a deep dive into it. Mississippi Today has been doing a really good job at kind of making all of this public. But they did a deep dive into it, and they first of all, they stole money from a government fund intended for the poor, right? But also, this government fund, this welfare, basically only a few people can qualify for it. A few people qualify for it. And I think they said like 16,000 or something ridiculous, like 20,000 applied for the welfare, and only like 200 or 300 or something like that got it. Right? So you have poor Mississippians in the state who aren't qualifying for the government funds intended for them. And then you have people like Brett Farve, who is taking this money and building multi-million-dollar stadiums with it. If that ain't corruption, I don't know what is.
That's right. You don't know.
Yeah.
In the roots of it. This is more a problem with the Mississippi government than it is even with Brett Favre. Because the only reason he was able to do this is because of the corruption.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like there's always going to be something like this that happens.
Yeah.
It amazes me. A millionaire does bullshit that fucks over the poor, and people are like,
Oh, your guy.
and I'm like, yeah, who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it?
His actions hurt poor people.
Oh my goodness, no.
Oh no. I know.
Oh my God.
This is just so crazy. And me, I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of the way things have been.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be this way. And then you're like a very, very, very public figure. You're, look, dude, you're a Brett Farve.
Farve.
You know what I'm saying?
Favorite. You're Brett Favre.
You're from the state of Mississippi, and people follow you because you're there. People are Green Bay fans simply because you're from Mississippi. And that's why they're Green Bay fans instead of Saints fans, like they should be.
Who that?
Whatever. You know.
But you know, like, dude, you take your limelight and your attention and your position within the world, and you just steal from the underprivileged.
Right.
You're just a fucking asshole.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Pretty much.
You're an asshole. Yeah. And you deserve every negative thing that you're about to get.
Yeah. And he was saying that he didn't know. And after he said he didn't know, we immediately found out that he did know. He did know.
Come on, man.
That he actually, the text messages they pulled up, he was literally asking, is there any way for the media or anybody to find out about this? Why would you ask that question if you thought that everything you were doing was legal?
Because you know.
Because you know.
That wasn't me saying that.
This is some bullshit.
Was that you?
You know you're doing something dirty with your dog ass.
What up, G? You can't handle it.
You know it. You wouldn't ask nobody. No one who's on the up and up asks that question.
Come on, man.
Is anybody gonna find out about this? Find out about what?
Well, I mean,
Why does it matter?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Everything is up to the table. Nah. This dude is a piece of shit for this. Stealing money from the poorest state in our nation is ridiculous, and it's really, like I said, we need to get to the core of the issue, which is the government in Mississippi. As often as people talk crap about how bad blue states are and how corrupt they are, this is a very very telling scenario that shows how corrupt any state can be.
Mississippi red as hell.
Is it ever?
Yeah, I don't know if it's ever gonna be blue.
Think?
That bit ain't gonna even be purple.
No, not even close.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a reason for that.
Good old boys.
Yeah. You have any final thoughts about this?
My final thoughts. You go first.
When are y'all gonna get to the goddamn point?
This your state.
Yeah.
I'm from Louisiana, baby. Well, I'm from New Orleans. We a little different from Louisiana.
But growing up in Mississippi was very I enjoyed myself, but at the same time there were obvious problems there. You have a crisis in Jackson, Mississippi right now, a water crisis. I used to live in Jackson. You had gang problems too. You still have gang problems out there, violence, crime problems. And adding this on top of that, finding out that, there's millions available to fix some of these issues, to get Jackson's water system up and running and up to date. But we're stealing tens of millions of dollars from poor people. Is sickening, and I'm so glad that Mississippi today is doing their due diligence. They're really shining a light on this. I'm happy that there are people who work for them that are uncorrupt and are willing to just put the pedal to the metal and show everything how it is, because this really needed to happen. This isn't the first time this has happened. Probably won't be the last time. But it's definitely something that we all need to see, so that we know that there is something wrong with our government. This isn't normal. The worst thing about this, I think, is that Brett Favre is going to be okay. At the end of the day.
Who?
Brett Favre.
Oh.
Oh, that's better.
Damn straight.
That's the worst thing about it to me is that he's gonna apologize. He's gonna make up some BS about not knowing. His fans are gonna swallow it, and at the end of the day, he's gonna be all right. But we shouldn't let the government officials that let this happen be all right, and that's gonna be up to the Mississippians to do something about that. But that's my final thoughts. What you got?
All right, so my final thoughts is I've always found it weird when there's like millionaires that's trying to do like fundraisers and stuff like that. Entertain me for a second, right? What if I had $40 million? What's $1 million to me? I have $40 million. I can spend $1 million and, you know, do whatever I need to get done for whatever fundraiser that I'm trying to fund. I guarantee you, if it's a fundraiser, they're not trying to get to $1 million. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to get to $1 million. And if I'm at that point already, like 40 million, I'm gonna get it back.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna get it back.
absolutely.
You know, so it's always a bit weird. Like you grew up here. I'm from New Orleans. I grew up in New Orleans. I have, my heart is in New Orleans. If I were to have that kind of money, I wouldn't be asking for fundraisers. I wouldn't be doing anything like that. I would just ask for people to be more aware. I would ask for awareness. Like, I'm going to take my platform and be like, these are the issues that we're having. And I want to propose a solution to those problems. I wouldn't be asking you for money. And if I did, I wouldn't steal from you.
What the hell is wrong?
You're a sick individual at that point. Like, there's no amount of money in the world at this point where you wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
Because you have it by so, like, exponentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, the money that was required to build whatever, the volleyball, like, you have that exponentially. Absolutely. And yet you still did what you did.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Motherfucker for what? But, they're going to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah.
It's egregious. The things that he did doing this, it didn't even get that much publicity.
It really didn't.
We could talk about Ben Roethlisberger, who raped women. And, it all stems from one commonality. But I'm not going to say it in this episode. But I think in previous episodes, y'all know where I'm at with it.
Bars. I think part of the issue for this is the idea of people associating poorness with like a lack of morality, or your lack of money becomes a moral detriment. You're a bad person or something like that. And the way we view people who aren't rich is really weird to me. And that's what makes it so easy for people like Brett Favre to do what they did without any kind of moral consequence of it. They don't even feel bad about it because they feel like, well, the people on welfare are all crackheads and doing drugs and they don't need the money anyway, so we might as well take it and build a volleyball stadium with it. But for some reason, every person who is rich is treated like they have worked so hard to get there, right? And there's this pedestal that we put them on, that they are somehow morally superior to regular people because they have money. Because clearly, if you're a millionaire, you had to work hard every day to get there, right? And clearly, you're a good person because working hard is a characteristic that a good person would have. I think we need to kind of start moving away from this and thinking a little bit more deeply about this. Because Brett Favre is not a good person. But that's our show, y'all. Thank you once again for listening to our ramblings. And I'm your host, B. Ryder, co-host
J Bell.
and this has been
Final thoughts.